Alright guys, welcome. I'm here. I'm Custa. I'm here with Indy, Space from the LA Gladiators. Okay, so let's just jump right in, okay? So you used to be on LA Valiant. We played together for about a year and a half. You betrayed everything that we believed in and you went to the Gladiators. How's that transition been, man? Has it been good?
Yeah, it's been really good. It's really nice to work with David because David honestly scouted me from the start. You know, both LA teams wanted me and I chose Valiant because I thought the roster looked way better. And then towards later, Valiant did a rebuild, and David's still here on Gladiators, so he scouted me instantly and already wanted me, and I've already talked to him before about his coaching and his style. I mean, he's really hands-on. He takes a good leader role for our team, and his fundamentals are just building a structure that he wants to keep for years on, that we can just apply to any new player that we get. Is just to have a structure built in Gladiators so that when people join the team, they kind of fit right in, and we just kind of build off of that.
Address the elephant in the room, okay? So you guys have a really good roster, but I was like, I wonder where the Gladiators are sitting right now. You guys are actually in 13th. Like, what's going on? Like, how's the season been so far? Where's it all gone wrong?
Honestly, I feel like all of our games are super close, which is the same it was on Valiant. It's like even when we were 0-7, our games were super close, like 3-2 almost every time.
NYXL
yeah,
all
like
that kind of stuff,
super
right?
close matches every single time. So it's the same on Gladiators. You know, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm like a choker or something. I have no idea.
I didn't want to say anything. I'm glad you said it, not me.
I honestly have no idea, but it kind of feels the same here. It's just like our games come really close, and we make a lot of mistakes that we usually don't make in matches, and we don't do them in practice. But it usually comes down to practice, and it depends on how we practice that week. If we have really good weeks of practice and we're just stomping everybody, you know, our matches are usually clean. But if we're inconsistent and being lazy and not ironing out our mistakes fast enough, that's usually when we have problems. So our main goal right now is just keeping up our level in practice and playing at 110% every single time, and we kind of take it from there.
Talking about like with inconsistency, is I've never really played with this, and I'm almost very glad I haven't. Like hero pools, has that been harder for you personally? Like, because now you have to practice a wider variety of characters. So like you got what have you played so far this season? I've seen some Orisa, I've seen some Reinhardt, I've seen some D.Va, I've seen some Sigma. I've seen it all. Okay, my question is, when does the Roadhog come out? The Space Roadhog,
bro. You know that's too like that's a trump card. You feel me?
Yeah.
If we bring that out, it's over. It's wraps completely. Yeah.
Right, it worked for the Valiant, it'll work for the Gladiators, I'm sure, man. Alright, so how's it been going into monthly tournaments now? Because, like, I'm sure it was hard, as you said, with the schedule sort of breaking down in the middle of this COVID stuff. Does it feel like stage playoffs and, like, all that kind of stage hype like it is again? Because I'm sure it must have been a little monotonous just sort of playing weekly games here and there.
Yeah, I think the tournament format is really good for the league in general. Just and just to build stories, I feel like, and a lot more banter, a lot more trash talk, because and there's a lot more on the line, you know? Like, I think the game started from us playing tournaments, like the monthly melees and just the weeklies, and it's super intense, and you have something to grind for. You know, you're looking for that tournament, you're trying to get that win. It's just it's a different mentality than kind of just playing a match every week and just being like, oh, this is the same thing every time, you know, not really intense at all. We're not really playing for anything. So I think the tournament mode just like kind of brings us back to how old Overwatch was, of just like, we're running this bracket and we want to win, and you know, we're gonna trash talk. We're gonna trash talk. We're gonna, you know, banter and get to the finals. That's the goal. For me personally, it's like seeing Florida beat Philly was kind of surprising for us, because we've never lost to Florida ever. In scrims, we have like an 80% win rate against them.
Wow.
We almost always dominate them. So I thought for sure that Philly would make it to finals, and then when I saw that Florida beat Philly, I was like, oh wow, like that's kind of crazy, you know? So that just there shows to me that there is going to be dark horses, because and there's going to be upsets for sure in all the tournaments, and teams are going to have like really solid runs.
Do you think Florida's run was just because of the meta? Like, they got Yaki on Trace, they sort of worked it out better than anyone else? Or do you think they actually are a top 3 contender in the North American region?
I definitely think they're a top 3 contender. They have a really strong roster. They have good coaching staff, good leaders, and I think they play really good. But when we match up against them, we usually tend to, knock on wood, I'm not trying to jinx myself here, but we usually tend to win that matchup against them. But I do think they're a really good team.
Well, you guys have had your struggles. You guys did have a rough monthly tournament, okay? So, but we're going into the new one now. How's practice been leading into this one? Have you guys been practicing for very long coming into this tournament?
We're mainly just focusing on our fundamentals and, what we like to do. We like to play aggressive and go first. That's our main goal. So just keeping up the momentum in the lobby.
It's been hard to watch you guys and hard to predict you guys because, as you said, your mental goes up and down, and it feels like one week you guys are untouchable, and then the next week it feels like you guys can't kill anything to save your lives. So, like, how are you guys planning on turning that around? How do you solve that sort of like mental instability in that sort of way?
I think it really just comes down to practice for us, from what I've noticed. Like, a lot of the times we've realized when it comes to match day or like the day before match day, there's mistakes that we've been making since the start of the week that we're still making on the last day, like right before the match, and that just can't happen. Like it's basic stuff that we let stay there for too long because it doesn't really have a huge impact, but it still affects you in the long term. So our main goal is just ironing down our practice and making sure that our matches are exactly the same as our practice, and we dominate just as hard in practice and that we do in matches.
What's the structure like on the team? Because we have the support line that has been there since day one with Shaz and Big Goose, and then we got you, who's been around and obvious leader. Who's sort of calling the shots and running it? Because you also have a couple of rookies on that team.
Yeah, I definitely say Goose is probably our biggest in-game leader, just in terms of like holding the higher standard in practice. And then, everyone else's job is to keep up the momentum and keep going first, depending on who has ultimates, and just play like that.
Do you think that's the best way to play the game? Right? Because, I don't know, we see so many teams with hero pools, they try and mimic what they think the best comp is instead of playing to what they think the best style for them is. And we've seen so many teams do that. Dallas, we've seen Mayhem do it recently. Do you think just playing to your strengths is better than, trying to adhere to whatever the meta is that week?
Yeah, always. I've always thought that. And I think the biggest example of that was Season 2 of Overwatch League. You just saw teams were forcing goats, but we weren't good at goats. There's a lot of teams that they couldn't play goats at all. Besides us, we were good at goats, but there were some other unfortunate events there.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Okay, this is not the time.
To stay on the track, it's just that in Season 2, you saw teams were playing goats, and Stage 3, Stage 4, you saw Shanghai and Chengdu were actually starting to have success on triple DPS and comps that fit their playstyle, and they were beating the best goats teams like Shock and Vancouver and all those other teams. So I think that to me just showed that playing to your strengths is much better than just playing the best comp possible.
All right, so if we're going in, this is almost an impossible question to answer, but it's interesting to see who leads it. Okay, we have two different regions and we have two kings at the top. We have Shock and we have the Shanghai Dragons. If you expected to see them play, who would you expect to win?
Ooh, I haven't really watched the Shanghai matches, but I know that they're clean. I know they're nasty. Yeah. But I think Shock does make a few mistakes still there. Sometimes they make a few mistakes, and I can't really say for Shanghai, but it would definitely be a close game, 3-2 either way. Maybe Shanghai has it. Maybe Shanghai has it, but my boys on Shock be kind of getting crazy. You feel me? They don't play in the finals,
All right, okay. If it's being held down, I gotta ask, what's going on with the ham, man? Are you going out intentionally? You just sort of seeing what's going on? It's quarantine YOLO.
Yeah. I mean, you know me. You know my hair has always kind of been all over the place since Valiant days.
It's another level now, though.
Yeah. I used to get haircuts, but the thing is, I never really had a barber or somewhere consistent that I would go. Yeah. And every time I got my hair cut, it wasn't what I wanted. So it came to the point where I was I'm just not gonna get it cut anymore. And it's been 5 months of just me growing out my hair just crazy long. But I am going to get it braided either this weekend or next weekend. I've had it on my schedule for a long time now, but I never actually went to do it. So I'm going to get it braided, and just to see how it looks, see if I like it, and keep it a little more organized. I kind of just let it go carefree now because it's just how I do my style, But I'm going to get it braided, see how it looks, and just go from there. Maybe I'll get it cut soon. Who knows? It's a journey. It's a journey.
Just show up one day and just have it completely shaped. Just go bald like Sideshow, man.
Just act like I don't even know what happened.
You've been playing this game for what, 4 years now? You're grinding. You do everything, including Roadhog. What makes you do it every day?
Honestly, just I love the game. I mean, the thing that attracted me most to Overwatch was how short the games were, and they last like max 20-25 minutes. So I just grinded it so much when I was at my crib in New York. You know, when I first started playing in season 2, you kept playing the game, and even if a game wasn't up to your standard, like you had some kid just trolling on some random off hero, you get right into the next one and you just keep playing. So I love the pace of the game, just the momentum and all the tactic that goes into it. Like people don't really see when it's 6v6 and how much team play really goes into Overwatch, and just the teamwork in general, and just like keeping up the momentum, keeping the pace in the game is just there's nothing that I don't like about it. I love competing at the professional level, and I love playing ranked, streaming for my fans. It's just super enjoyable, the whole thing.
That's pretty much every question I have. Is there anything else you wanted to say, man?
Not really. I mean, just thanks for having me, bro. I miss you. I love that the analysts and the casting. You know, it's going pretty well. They needed you.
You make me jealous, man. I watch you when you guys are on stage. I'm like, man, I miss playing on the stage.
Dude. I mean, you still got it, bro. You could come back whenever you want. You know that. You still got it.
I played Overwatch recently. I don't have it. It's gone.
I was just trying to hype you up a little bit. You feel me?
I appreciate it. All right, but thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Shout out Indy for your match, and wish you luck this weekend.
Thank you. Have a good one, bro.